time for a library book haul. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I'm doing a library book haul for you guys. Got some picks from authors I've read from before, also some authors that just seemed intriguing to me, some cover buys, and a couple of ones Danielle picked out for me, and a couple of little shorties towards the end I will talk about. These are library books, but they are still like actual books, so we'll link them down below if any of these intrigue you. And also down below is the Patreon, Danielle's channel, and all the other fun stuff, the Bookstagram and all that. And yeah, without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the library haul. Alright, first up is going to be the Shari Lapena book that just got released this month. I think it got released for August, or maybe it was July. And that is What Have You Done? So I have read every Shari Lapena book. I think I've read everything that she has come out with. All of them have been really good, so little blurbs in here. Nothing ever happens in Sleepy Little Fair Hill, Vermont. But this morning, all of that will change, and one innocent question could be deadly. So, like I said, this one is it's an author I've read before. It's a thriller person, and a lot of the thriller books I've read from authors I generally like. So, I'm excited to get to this one. I think the last one I read by her was the one that I thought was similar to another really popular book that I had read. I think that was the last one. I could be mistaken. Anyway, besides that, I'm very excited to get to this book, and Shari Lapena is like always so good for me. So there you go, Shari Lapena, What Have You Done? Alright, next up is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. This is an author I've read her whole backlist, and 2 out of the 3 were really good, and the third one, could have been better, but whatever. So this one, blurb is on the back of the book. Welcome to the opening weekend of The Manor, a luxury resort built on top of old secrets and an ancient forest. The founder, the husband, the mystery guest, the kitchen help. Everyone has an agenda, everyone has a past, but not everyone will survive. The Midnight Feast. Again, when it comes to thriller books, regardless if it's an author I've read or somebody who I have not read, I generally really want to go into it not knowing a whole lot, because then usually it gets spoiled for me sometimes with, knowing too much. So that I feel like is a good enough blurb to where I'm not like spoiled with anything. So very interested to get in this book. Again, with all these books, if anybody has read any of these books, let me know in the comments your thoughts. Keep it spoiler free, because duh. So, but there you have The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Alright, next up is one that I picked. Cover is really cool, and it sounded interesting with the blurb. Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. Author Burn the Negative. I did not read that book, but again, this cover was really cool, and the blurb goes, Willow's worst nightmare was being canceled, but the shadows in the woods of Camp Castaway might destroy more than her reputation. Anything that really involves camping, I mean, as you can see with the cover, if the glare is not that bad, there's marshmallows on a stick and then literally a axe with blood on it. So I will say there was a previous camp horror book I read, Camp Slaughter, that was really not that good, but I'm interested in giving this one a shot because, like I said, the cover and the blurb just kind of sound good, and the cover looked good. So there you have Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. Alright, next up is another major cover buy for me. There has been some good reviews on this book too. But The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. And like I said, it's really the cover of the book, and the pages being that bluish color is kind of what sold it to me more. There's like a little map on the inside flap as well. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. There's a little blurb on the back here. From the best-selling author of The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and The Devil in the Dark Water comes an inventive, high-concept murder mystery. It's an ingenious puzzle, an extraordinary backdrop, and an audacious solution. So, again, really was just the cover. There has been a couple good reviews, and just intrigued to see if I want to get into this book. So there you have The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. Alright, next up is I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. He is the author of the My Heart is a Chainsaw trilogy, which I think it ends in a trilogy, I'm not sure. I have only read the first book, which is My Heart is a Chainsaw. Still have to read the second one. I don't remember what that one's called. I also read Night of the Mannequins by him, and it's like a really short story, like a novella or just a short story. It's a very good book. But anyway, this one, there's not really like a solid blurb, but at the bottom it says, "Be happy you weren't there. Be happy you're only reading about it." So if you know more about this book, let me know in the comments with just, keep it spoiler free, obviously. I have liked most of what I read from Stephen Graham Jones, so I'm intrigued to get to this one. I mean, if it's anything about slashers and stuff like that, horror and slasher stuff is usually my thing, especially like My Heart is a Chainsaw. It's all about like slasher and horror movies and stuff like that, so I'm excited to get to this one by Stephen Graham Jones, and that is I Was a Teenage Slasher. Alright, the next two are both by the same author. One book I have already read, and the other one I'm willing to give a chance. Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey and How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig DeLuey. So, I read episode 13. If you have not seen my recent reads video, check it out up here. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't really have any super issues with it. I would say the formatting could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. I talk about it more in that video, so check out that video if you want to get my more thoughts and opinions on episode 13. But basically this paranormal team enters this really super haunted house, and a bunch of crap goes wrong, and we're basically following what happens. This other book here, this one, I don't know anything about it. It's just another book by Craig DeLuey, and I want to give it a chance because I went into this one really blind, and I want to go into this one really blind as well. If you have read this book, let me know in the comments your thoughts. Spoiler free, because duh. So, but yeah, I'm very excited to get to this because, like I said, this one was alright. So I'm hoping this one's even better. So there you have How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive and episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. Alright, next up is one that I am really excited to get to, and I believe I will be reading it in the correct order. Again, if I'm not, let me know in the comments. And that is A Winter Haunting by Dan Simmons. So this is, I believe, book 2 in the Summer of Night book series. I read Summer of Night. It's a video that we need to do and talk about, but it is in one of my top books of 2024 so far. It's number 2, so which if you have not seen that video, check it out up here. This book, and then there's another one, I forget what that one is called, but whatever. That one and this one are both labeled as the sequel, and so I'm not 100% sure which one is technically supposed to be the next one read. This one, as far as I know, still takes place in the town of Elm Haven. We're following Dale Stewart, who was one of the main kids from the Summer of Night book, and this is him as an adult. He's kind of not himself, and what he ends up doing is staying in the barn of one of the other kids, the kid who, well, I don't want to spoil anything for Summer of Night if you have not read Summer of Night. He stays in the barn of one of the other kids from the previous book, but I will leave it at that. So, again, let me know if I am reading this in the correct order, because I am convinced that this is the order I'm supposed to be doing it in, this one, and then Fires of Eden, I think, is the other book, or it's the vampire book where we're following Mike instead.
Children of the Night?
Children of the Night, yeah. Children of the Night, the both of them, I keep getting told that's the next book you're supposed to read, or that this is the next book you're supposed to read. So I really don't know, but I want to go this route because a bunch of people said this is the best route to go. So that's why A Winter Haunting by Dan Simmons is a book that I picked up from the library. So there you have A Winter Haunting by Dan Simmons. Alright, these next 5 are all kind of on the shorter side, so I probably won't have a blurb to give. But this first one I have read from before, and honestly, I'm so torn with the book I did read by this person, and I really was not a fan. The Prettiest Girl in the Grave by Christopher Triana. This is the author of Gone to See the Riverman, and if you have watched my video on that book, I have thoughts, and they differ from Danielle's. So I'm excited. I don't know. I'm intrigued to get to this one, see if it's as, I don't want to say as bad, but like as dark as the other one was. So we'll see how this goes. But otherwise, yeah, The Prettiest Girl in the Grave, Christopher Triana. Then next one up is The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. This one, again, just kind of like a little short story here. Got some wasps on it, and it's kind of the main reason. I just like have like a thing with wasps and like bugs. I don't know, weird. See if this one's any good. Again, with all the ones I don't know a whole lot about, if you have read them, give me some thoughts down below without spoilers. Next one, Feed Them Silence by Lee Mandello. Again, this is just a little shorty. Oh, there's a little blurb in here. Lee Mandello dives into the minds of wolves in Feed Them Silence, a novella of the near future. Alright, so there's a little wolf on there. Cover looks pretty cool too. So, but yeah, there you have that book. Then we have the... Oh, that one fell. Next we have The Test by Sylvain Neuvel. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Britain, the Not Too Distant Future. So, again, another one that's short, sounded a little intriguing to me, and we'll see if I enjoy this one. And then the last book is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is a book that I was planning to read a while ago, but I just never really got to it. I have to admit myself, do things I don't want to do, like talk to humans. I don't know. It's one I wanted to read a while ago, and like I said, I just never really got to it. So there you have Martha Wells, All Systems Red, and all the other short stories that I just went through. So yeah, there's my library haul. Pretty good selection of stuff here. Gonna see what I can get to and hopefully enjoy some of these books. And yeah, again, we'll link them down below if any of those sound intriguing to you. If you've read any of them, again, as I kept saying throughout, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Spoiler free, please. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.